Hello again and welcome back to Some Climbing News. Get the show started. And starting us out today, huge news out of Vegas as Jakob Schubert manages to get the send of Shaolin, his third ever 9A V17, after Mount Doom, his second, and Alphane, his first. And this actually makes things oh so very interesting when it comes to that whole, who is the best climber in the world right now conversation. Because with this ascent, Jakob's basically made a pretty freaking strong case for himself. He is one of only 4 people in the world to have climbed a 9C route, the hardest sport climbing grade currently, along with Seb Bouin, Sean Bailey, and Adam Ondra. If the grades of all those ascents hold up on subsequent repeats. Not saying they won't necessarily, I'm just saying none of them have been repeated yet. Maybe I would say Silence has the best case going for it so far, given that people have been trying it nonstop and been, consistently bucked off. But either way, one of only 4 people to propose the grade, and now of those 4 is along with Sean Bailey, the dude with the most 9A V17 boulders sent with 3. And Shaolin in this case is pretty freaking interesting to me, given that every other 9A that Jakob sent is like long and endurance-y and very much, dare I say, sport climby. It's incredibly cool to see that he's able to do super freaking difficult boulders that are a little more punchy at this level. Jakob's kind of made a name for himself as a sport climber, so I guess a lot of people out there were kind of dismissing his previous bouldering exploits by saying that they were basically just sport climbs anyways, and, well, by lots of people, I guess it was just me. Jakob just completely showed me up. I was very much hoping for that to be the case. And yeah, I wasn't really dismissing any of his stuff. I was just kind of wondering what would happen if he tried something that wasn't 30 moves long, and he just freaking killed it. Yeah, super interesting stuff. Shaolin's, let's not forget, is a short 4 to 5 move, 8BV13-ish start into 2 ridiculously hard, ridiculously low percentage moves. So basically the exact opposite of Alphane and Mount Doom. And Jakob seems to be pretty aware of that fact. He actually mentioned it in his Graham announcement post thing. Apparently he felt really, really good on it from the first day he pulled on, just had a ton of trouble with skin management. Looks like he's got pretty dry skin and the desert conditions were not helping him at all, so his skin kept splitting and he kept having to work the boulder with tape on his fingers, which, to be honest, I personally cannot understand. I will never, ever be able to climb with tape. Just it feels wrong for some reason. I just can't hold on to absolutely anything at all. Not that I usually would be able to. But honestly, I don't understand how the man was climbing something this hard with tape on his fingers. It's like Magos on Lucid. That was ridiculous. Looks like he even had to give his skin time to heal, so he left Nevada, headed to Arizona for some sport climbing, which your skin hurts, so you go do sport climbing in order to let it heal. I mean, sure, that makes sense, I guess. I don't know, dude. These people are barely human. I don't know why logic would apply to them. Seems I've heard a bit of a rumor going on that during this time chilling in Arizona, he went and took a look at Duality of Man, Sean Bailey's 9C route. No idea if he tried it. Maybe he got on Lee Majors, but really he hasn't said much, so I won't assume anything for now. But yeah, dude spent a while in Arizona, then headed back to Vegas to finish off Shaolin once his skin felt better, which actually, honestly, to be very fair, makes a lot of sense, given that, he was climbing on limestone, and limestone tends to be a little bit nicer on the skin. Anyways, as for the break, yes, the break. One of the holds on Shaolin broke not too long ago, and it didn't change anything at all for Jakob or his understanding of the greatest 9A V17. Seemingly only made one of the moves slightly harder, forced him to have to kind of tweak his beta a little bit, which set him back, but honestly, not all that much, right? It seems like he was just kind of annoyed by it, but not anything else. I don't know. I don't have much of an understanding of how long he took to do this thing, but if his Instagram is to be believed, he posted about landing in Vegas for the first time 2 weeks ago, so January 23rd, if he sent like yesterday, that means he did this in very, very, very few sessions, especially given that he literally left Vegas and went to hang out in Arizona for a few days. So we're talking like fast, like very fast. That's a very fast send of a climb that usually takes people a very long time to do because of how insanely freaking low percentage all the moves on it are. What Jakob just did is insane. But yeah, man, honestly, I gotta give huge congratulations to Jakob on this one. It's amazing stuff to see him climbing boulders at this level. And like, you know, I know some people out there are gonna say that this is gonna put him above Andra in terms of world's best, but yeah, I don't know, man. Even with the third 9A boulder, it's honestly not even close. I mean, Andra's freaking resume is ridiculous, but I think Jakob's definitely a very, very, very solid absolute world number 2 at this point. But gotta ask what you guys think, man. Let me know in the comments. And speaking of best ever, I think Galla might honestly be having the best bouldering season of all time right now. Like, I'm not kidding. If you take summer out, because let's face it, summer isn't really bouldering season, this dude is freaking doing everything. Latest of which, the last of the big 3 on the Grandpa Peabody boulder in Bishop. He did Devilution, or Devilution, 8C+V16. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. Doesn't really matter. Before I get into that particular boulder, I want to talk about his tick list lately because it's just nuts. If we're counting from August onwards, this dude has done 2 8C boulders, 2 8C pluses, and 2 9As. That's actually freaking insane, especially given that one of his 8Cs, Lucid Dreaming, is widely considered to be extremely hard for the grade. Same goes with Hypnotized Minds, his other 8C plus boulder, and Devilution, which are notably very fucking hard. 2 9As back-to-back within a week of each other, which, if I'm not wrong, is the quickest back-to-back sends at the grade that we've ever seen after Hamish on No One Warns and Megatron. Practically the only thing that I can say that takes any sort of praise away from this dude right now is the fact that he sent Shaolin and Devilution with a full moon, which, as we all know, moon's gravitational pull, right? Like, I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying. If the moon can pull the ocean and cause tides, it can help you up a boulder. Shit's aid. That's just facts. Zach, I don't know if we can fully count that send as not aid. You dabbed on the moon. I'm sorry, but like I can't be sure if it counts. Like I said, dabbing on the moon, terrible. Should have sent during the daytime, man. Sorry. But the moon being certified aid aside, we gotta talk about Devilution and how hard this thing is. It's 2 moves added to Evolution. Jason Kale's masterpiece of a boulder goes up the Grandpa Peabody. Basically a cruxy V9 move at the very top, followed by an about 5'11"-ish slab top out that's kinda insecure, which is absolutely incredible if that's all you're doing. If you're like Zach and you're trying to get the 3rd ascent of this thing after Sean, Bailey and Rabbit 2 that is, then that V12 is more of an afterthought and you're much more focused on the 2 moves the full line adds. 2 moves, the first of which is, according to a lot of people, one of the absolute hardest single moves on the planet. Here's the only footage we have of it as of now. Hey, yeah, you try stopping that freaking barn door. Jesus, I mean, help from the moon aside, that's insane. It's a really cool video, by the way. Love me a good Sean climb. Point is, people say that that move that you just watched is about as hard, more or less, as the first move on Burden of Dreams, which is often thought to be like freaking a single move V15. So we're talking, that's hard. But yeah, man, I don't know. Is there much to add? I feel like Zach Galla has just done Bishop. Which, like, dude's out of projects there, as far as I know, which is a ridiculous thing to say. Like, I genuinely don't think anyone even thought that that could be a possibility a few years ago. Yet here we are. Amazing stuff. Huge congratulations to Zach on that one. And in case anybody doesn't realize, yes, I'm fucking kidding about the moon thing. Don't be ridiculous. And then, so I had a little talk with Emil Abramson. You might know him from the YouTubes. I talked to him on the gram. He was kind enough to let me know 2 things. One thing I already knew, and another that I did not. The first, which I already knew, is that Charles Albert is an absolute goddamn madman with ridiculous vision in terms of climbing development and a penchant for trying ridiculously nasty climbs that no one other than him would ever think is possible. The thing I did not know is that he, as in Emil, will be releasing a video this upcoming week featuring Charles trying what sounds like one of the most ridiculous projects I think I've ever heard of. A 3-move direct line of the Big Island. So essentially, if I'm to understand this correctly, it's basically a climb that goes straight up and right and pretty much just does not use any of the holds on the left that everyone uses for compression. 3 moves to the top, Emil told me, break down as single move 8B into single move 8B into single move 8B. That's hard. I think I never really understood the level at which Charles just kind of exists until I watched him climb some of my projects in Albarracin, and just I don't know how to explain what I saw. Like, that dude, he literally just walked my boulders. He made him look like warm-ups, or not even warm-ups. He made him look like he wasn't even trying. So if anyone out there wants to see some ridiculous climbing coming out at some point this week, keep a lookout for Emil's channel. I'm very much excited to see what the hell, I guess, Big Island Direct is gonna look like. Also, big thanks to Emil, especially for letting me share that info with everyone before this video, or his video, comes out. Awesome stuff, man. I'm very excited to watch that. And then, speaking of big projects, Bouin's finally given us a breakdown of what very much might become the world's first 9C+, or 516A, which is, well, that's a number, Jesus. Okay, so I know some people are kind of bummed that this channel is very bouldering heavy. I know this episode has very much been, bouldering heavy, but I promise I'm trying to not be biased here. We're about to take a look at a big wall in a second, or in a couple of sections. It's just the time of the year, I hope. I love bouldering more than anything else, but I'm aware of the fact that I prioritize it a little bit more than I should. I'm keeping an eye on it, I promise. So let's talk Seb's project, Insouciance. And you know what? I'm just gonna read this shit word for word, because it's just wild. So here goes. And I quote, "It starts with an 8B plus 14A section, followed by a bouldery move around 7C V9, which brings the grade up to 8C, 14B, 20 to 25 meters of climbing. Then comes a 20-meter section with 2 bouldery cruxes at the end, pushing the grade to a quote-unquote friendly 9A, 14D. By that point, you've been climbing for roughly 35 minutes because you have to take the rests. No shit. From there begins the crux. God damn it. An 8C plus V16 boulder. It's the hardest boulder problem I've ever tried in my life. This crux can be broken down into 2 parts. A sustained 8A plus / V12 boulder, followed by an 8B / V13 boulder." You see this shit? It's got my eye twitching. Okay, I'm good. Listen, I don't know what to add to this. If Seb manages to send this thing, I mean, good lord, dude, I got no words. I'm speechless. Some other non-talking synonym. Yeah, this is insanity, man. The crux of silence is supposed to be 8C V15. This is a grade harder. And I don't know how good these rests the guy is talking about could possibly be. I don't see him wearing a knee pad in this photo, so presumably no long-ass 30-minute long rest where you can take your hands off at all. I don't know how this shit's possible. How do you do a 9A route into an 8C plus boulder problem? I can't even begin to understand that. Unless he does have to use knee bars, he was just not wearing a knee pad because he's only working the moves. But still, man, it's insane. I don't know. I don't understand it. It's wild. And then, very much not a segment that I'm happy about doing at all, but Natalia Grossman's just announced on their gram that she's unfortunately hurt her shoulder. Essentially, partially dislocated it in a way that has led to multiple complications. Now, she seems to be deciding between going in for surgery or simply putting her faith in physical therapy. And this is honestly, this is a horrible thing to hear. Natalia has been very dearly missed from competition climbing. I mean, she tore her ACL and was not able to do anything last year. Things were seemingly going great, and hearing this it sucks, man. It really freaking sucks. I cannot imagine the frustration and the crap Natalia is probably going through. As she said, she's feeling super stressed, super anxious, and feels an overwhelming amount of pressure to get back to competition. Honestly, it's a horrible thing, man. I'm bummed, dude. This really, really fucking sucks. And look, as far as pressures to perform, I'm not anyone, really. But if for whatever reason Natalia watches this show, I mean, I don't know her personally, but I think I speak for pretty much everyone in saying that we are all hoping that you'll be back soon, but we'd happily wait a year, 2 years, friggin' longer, however long it takes, for a Natalia that's back at 100% as opposed to one that's forcing herself and her body to do something that they are not ready for. Fuck external pressures, do what's right for you and your climbing long term. That just kind of goes for Natalia, goes for literally anybody who's listening to this. Here's to another great recovery, make another wall of happiness. That thing was pretty cool. I really hope that you get back to climbing very, very soon. And then to end on a higher note, let's talk big wall climbing, as Ignacio Mulero has just managed to top the 25-pitch long El Bonsai in Cotamo, Chile. More specifically on the Cerro Capicua, which is a nearly 1,000-meter tall freaking granite thingy? Mountain? Sure, face. I'll call it a face. I'm such a boulder. God damn it. I'm out of my league, man. I'm like Donnie from Lebowski. Jesus Christ. It's gonna be fine. I can do this. I don't need to shut the fuck up. Okay, so this is the first free ascent of what was originally thought to be likely the hardest route on this face. 25 pitches of slabs and techie dihedrals that was estimated to be at about 8B plus or 514A, but which Mulero has suggested actually has settled in the 8A plus 513C range. So still hard as hell, 2 grades harder than Freerider, in case anyone out there wants and or needs the context. And as someone who has been personally sandbagged by Ignacio Mulero, I don't believe a fucking word. No. So Mulero was out there with his 2 partners, Leon Riveros and Diego Diaz Aguilera, both of whom had been hard at work developing the route and who were kind enough to give the FA to their newfound friend. Now, as far as I can understand, these guys spent 26 days in the valley, of which 12 were spent on the wall. They set up some sort of base camp, 9 pitches up the wall, where they would jumar up and rappel from daily, so Mulero could work the different pitches. So yeah, man, it's incredible stuff. Huge congratulations to Ignacio Mulero, Leon Riveros, and Diego Diaz Aguilera. I know very, very little about big wall climbing, but this route looks absolutely incredible. And very much like, okay, well, I'm not gonna lie. It's very much everything I don't think I will ever be able to do. It's so anti-style, it's not even funny. But goddamn, does it not look good? I mean, I would train my ass off if I was told I could go work on that. Are you kidding me? Look at that thing. It's so freaking sick. And anybody listening, stop listening and start watching. Jesus, it's amazing. But hey, that was some climbing news. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that good YouTube stuff. I will see you guys on Thursday at the latest, of course. And as always, in the meantime, go climb some stuff.